Your respect is not misplaced, it's surrendered. While you cling to fair play, they study human currency. Your decline isn't misfortune, it's a calculated transfer of power you approved. The economy of respect. Forget everything you've been told about respect being earned through decency. That is a pacifying fiction, designed to keep you compliant and predictable. In reality, respect operates on a cold, transactional economy. A silent, continuous exchange of perceived value and power. You are losing status not because you are inherently unworthy, but because you are bankrupt in this economy. You are spending your social capital on trivialities, seeking approval, explaining yourself, prioritizing harmony, while they are investing in leverage. Your default perspective is sentimental. It believes respect is a reward for good behavior. This lens is fatal. The correct lens is that of a strategist observing a market. Respect flows predictably toward those who project scarcity and authority and drains away from those who signal abundance and accessibility. Your blindness to this exchange is the first and most expensive tax you pay. You thought this was about morality. It is about accounting, and your ledger is in the red. The scarcity mechanism. Your mind is wired to obey a primal law. Value is dictated by scarcity. This is not a choice. It is a subterranean program running your social interactions. When you are overly available with your time, your attention, your forgiveness, you broadcast abundance. To the human subconscious, abundance equals common, and the common is disregarded, for it holds no survival value. The psychological mechanism is a ruthless selection protocol. It instinctively withholds respect, a form of social credit, from the readily accessible, as there is no cost to lose them and no prize in winning their favor. Conversely, it confers respect upon what is restrained, measured, and seemingly unattainable. Your every overeager reply, your unsolicited justification, your predictable emotional need, these are microtransactions that flood your own market. You are making your respect cheap. They gain status by understanding this algorithm. Their silence, their delayed responses, their unwavering boundaries create artificial scarcity. This triggers the instinctual circuit in others to bid higher for their attention, their approval, their presence. You are not losing a moral argument. You are being outplayed by a deeper biological firmware. Your generosity is being coded as desperation. Your agreeableness is being processed as weakness. The mechanism does not care about your intent. It only responds to the signals of value you transmit. The 3 loser archetypes. You are not losing status randomly. You are following a blueprint, a predictable, self-sabotaging script. Observe these archetypes in the wild, or better yet, in your own reflection. First, the apologist. This is the man who prefaces his statements with, "Sorry, but," who ritualistically diminishes his own presence to make others comfortable. He trades sovereignty for sympathy, and the exchange rate is brutal. Each apology withdraws a fixed sum of respect from his account. Second, the oversharer. He mistakes vulnerability for strength, confessing insecurities and seeking camaraderie through exposure. He believes he is building connection. He is actually auctioning his mystique at bargain prices. In the economy of respect, mystique is equity. He is liquidating his. Third, the consensus addict. He cannot act without a committee of invisible approval. His questions, his posture, his very energy seeks validation. He is a satellite, not a planet. His orbit defined by the gravity of others' opinions. These are not personality traits. They are behavioral leaks. Each one systematically transfers status from you to your environment. Identify which archetype you fund, then understand. To the observer, these patterns are not innocent. They are signals of poor psychological governance, marking you as a source to be drained, not a force to be reckoned with. The gravity of deference. Understand this. Status is not lost in grand, dramatic collapses. It seeps out through the microscopic cracks of daily deference. Each minor concession, letting someone interrupt you, laughing at a joke at your expense, adjusting your schedule for another's convenience, acts as a psychological precedent. It establishes a hierarchy. The human mind is a relentless pattern recognition machine. It does not see isolated incidents. It sees trends, and it extrapolates them into law. Your single compromised boundary is not an event. It is the first data point in a graph that plots your descent. History is the ledger of this principle. Courts collapsed not from invasion, but from the gradual erosion of ceremonial respect for the throne. Businesses fail not from one bad decision, but from the accumulated weight of small concessions that emboldened competitors and demoralized allies. This is the gravity of deference. Small gestures compound. Your polite flinch today becomes the expected submission tomorrow. It creates a social debt where you are the perpetual creditor and the interest is paid in your own authority. They do not take your respect because they are malicious. They take it because you have demonstrated through a series of negligible surrenders that it is available for the taking. You have shown the market that your stock is volatile and weak. The consequence is not dislike, it is irrelevance. You become ambient noise in a room, acknowledged only when it is convenient to drown you out. Sovereignty, protocols. The correction is not in thought, but in behavior. You stop the leak not by wishing for more respect, but by engineering its scarcity. Implement these protocols with surgical indifference. First, the physical edit. Your time and presence are non-negotiable capital. You do not justify availability. You grant it selectively. Late? The meeting proceeds without you. A last-minute request. It is met with silence, not accommodation. You train your environment to understand that access to you is a privilege with a high cost of entry. Second, the verbal veto. Eliminate explanatory language from your vocabulary. No is a complete sentence. Because I decided so is a valid reason. You do not build a case for your boundaries. You simply state the verdict. Any justification is a crack in the armor, an invitation to negotiate your sovereignty. Third, the transactional silence. Become comfortable with the void after you speak or act. Do not fill pauses with nervous chatter to ease the tension. Let the tension exist. Let others rush to fill the silence they perceive as your disapproval. This quiet is the sound of your respect accruing value. These are not communication techniques. They are behavioral commands that recalibrate the social field around you. You are not being rude. You are being precise. You are switching from a petitioner in the court of public opinion to the judge who sets the terms of engagement. Discipline replaces motivation. Leverage replaces plea. Becoming the judge. The final step is not an adjustment, but an annihilation. The man who seeks respect is, by definition, a supplicant. His identity is built upon the approval of an external court. This identity must die. In its place, you construct the identity of the judge. This is not a metaphor for arrogance, but a functional, psychological shift. The judge does not request respect. His presence audits the respectworthiness of others. His internal dialogue flips from, do they value me? To, do they meet the standard to occupy my attention? Your entire focus migrates inward. You become the silent arbiter of value in every room, in every conversation. You observe behavior, patterns, and subtleties not for your own inclusion, but for cold assessment. This is sovereignty operationalized. When you speak, it is to deliver a verdict or an insight, not to seek validation. When you engage, it is a conscious allocation of your resources, not a need for social fuel. The old you sought to be liked. The judge is indifferent to sentiment. He is concerned only with the calibration of power and the integrity of his own tribunal. This is the core of the shift. You are no longer a participant in their game, hoping for a high score. You are the architect of a different game entirely, where the only score that matters is your own internal metric of alignment. The respect of others becomes a secondary byproduct, a symptom of your own self-conferred authority. It arrives not because you chased it, but because your own self-respect has become so dense, so non-negotiable, that it alters the gravity of every interaction you enter.